that big.
Here's the rules of a snow day. You can't do work at all. You can't get ahead in class. You just need to have fun.
We have to bring a pack. No broken bones today.
Today? A year ago, a snow day like this would have been completely unthinkable for me. Last year I was in an accident and I woke up in a hospital with my leg in 16 pieces. To celebrate 1 year back on my feet, I volunteered at prosthetics for Bolivia. The first patient I worked with was a 17-year-old girl named Gina. Why Bolivia, of all places? When you see pictures of me as a kid, I'm always climbing something. I'm always outdoors, I'm always exploring. But while I was in the hospital, I realized the only way I'd know if I ever really bounced back from this injury is if I could up my climbing game from where it had never been. I picked the one that was the highest mountain I'd ever climbed, plus the highest elevation where I'd ever been. Here's the altitude sickness report. I feel fine, but I'm using a hand truck to push my backpack. So that leaves us with Sahama. Sahama is here on the Chilean border. It's 64,000 meters. I needed to give myself a goal while I was in the hospital. Not just walk, but to be able to fully know that I had recovered. So I'm in La Paz. I'm planning on this trip to Sahama.
Okay, so it's day 3. We've got giant mountains behind us.
And bad weather delays us. So I started volunteering at prosthetics for Bolivia. And that's where I met Gina. There's a term in climbing called turnaround time, and it just means the time that you have to turn around no matter how close you are to the summit and go home, because otherwise you won't make it down alive. While I was working with Gina though, I realized that I would never make it to meet my friends in Sahama, so I had to tell my friends to go ahead without me. That's where we are in the campaign right now. We're at the point where we would really have to turn around if we're not gonna make it, but I don't want to do that. Because the thing I learned with Gina, it wasn't that I needed like a mountain to tell me when I was ready and healed again. I was just afraid to learn it for myself. Can I get one legendary push home?
Sure, come on. Let's do it. Oh, man.
Doing it.
Put your camera on. Perfect. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Doing it. Just as a postscript here, my friends did make it to Sahama, but when they got within sight of the summit, they hit their turnaround time and they all had to go home. So, I didn't miss much. Let's go! It's important to cash in on your Apres ski park. So far, nothing's up. How you doing?
Hi guys.
You guys? Oh, good. Is
Want
there
a table outside or inside?
Yeah.